How's it going, YouTube? Oxa here, and welcome back. So, very excited. Today I will be reviewing the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie, right, that just came out. The long-awaited sequel to Bumblebee, which Bumblebee in itself, right, is like a prequel to all the Michael Bay Transformer movies. And this one is a direct sequel to that, so still taking place before them. And yeah, will I say, wow, this is probably the biggest surprise of the year for me. Because naturally, I think like probably many of you, we watched Transformers, like the 2007 one. It was awesome, right? Like seeing them in live action. And like it's crazy that even to this day, the CGI like still holds up pretty well. And yeah, so you had that. Revenge of the Fallen was cool. I have fond memories because cool little fact that was actually the first movie I saw in theaters. I know I was like a little older, but yeah, it was. I have the fond memory going with my dad to go see it. So, and I grew up watching Transformers like Energon or Armada. Like I've always been a fan of big robots. So it's really cool. It's always been an interest of mine. And yeah, the Michael Bay movies, I only kept up till the third one. Age of Extinction, I didn't see, but a lot of people hate it, right? The Dinobots apparently are like barely in it. And The Last Night, yeah, people just really hate it. Many say it's the worst of the series. I own them all now on like Blu-ray or 4K, so I might watch them. And I do own Bumblebee. I do need to see that one. That one I've heard good things about. But yeah, here we are. The seventh overall Transformers movie, sequel to Bumblebee, and yeah, it was really good. I loved it, honestly, which I was shocked. I genuinely thought it was going to be boring or like subpar, but in my opinion, it was really good. So some pros, right? I do appreciate that the human characters that we do have, our main two being Noah Diaz and Elena Wallace. I think they were interesting for what they showed. No forced romance that every movie has to do. Like that was a breath of fresh air. It's like just let these characters be themselves. Like I really like Noah in the sense they do a good job of making him just like you could tell he's like a good guy just trying to help out his family. They're from New York, so they got that little like edge to them. But yeah, he's just trying to make a buck, help out his family. His little brother has like a condition, and they're late on payments. So like just off the bat, you're kind of like like an underdog. You kind of root for the guy, and I think they do a good job with that. And Elena as well, who is like an intern for a museum, right, with like dealing with artifacts. And right off the bat, I love about her introduction is that the movie does like what a movie should do: show me, don't tell me. What I mean is like the movie does a great job of just establishing like she's an intern, she's not taken seriously, she's seen as like less, and it doesn't have to tell me that. She doesn't have to like complain about like, oh, like there's a perfect scene. She arrives late, her superiors like, where were you? They she's asking Elena's opinion on all these artifacts, and then immediately the superior turns around and tells like these people waiting, probably like I don't know the word, but people probably for value or scientific like estimates. She's just telling them like, oh, this is this, like literally what Elena just said, but taking it as her own. Or a shot I really liked was Elena telling her like, hey, I think this artifact is not from the time period. I think it's way older. And then the supervisor's like not really paying attention, goes into a room where it's like lab techs only. The door shuts in her face, and you get it. Like it's like, hey, you're not, we don't see you as an equal. Doesn't tell me that. It's like it just shows me, and like I appreciate that. It's like just don't, like don't insult the audience's intelligence. Like you can, like I got what you were trying to say. You didn't have to tell me, and I love that. Like that, I really liked. And I mean, what is there to say? The classic designs are awesome. Of course, Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime, back as always. And yeah, I mean, he's great. Like, I love the design. Like, it's really cool. Of course, they go for the more retro, right? Like, look, which I love. All the Bumblebee is always great. He's like in a lesser role now. Mirage is a lot of fun. I didn't see Bumblebee the movie, so I don't know if he's in that, but if he's a new introduction here, he was funny. He's definitely the comedic relief, but I think he works. Same thing, being from New York, like Noah and Elena, he has that like edge, the humor to him, and it worked for me. But the plot is really fun too. Of course, we get the Maximals, the Beast Wars. So we see Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Rhinox, Air Razor. We see all of them. Like, that was really cool. I like their scale because, like, Air Razor, you only see her from a distance. And, like, when she comes up close, she's huge. Like, she's big. She's bigger than, like, Optimus's truck form. And it's like, whoa. Like, it was cool to see. Unicron is a villain. I mean, he's always been the Transformers big bad, right? Like, he's not a Decepticon or Autobot. He's just a big evil. And he's just as terrifying, the Planet Eater. I mean, the movie starts out, the Maximals having to escape because they have a device that I guess would allow Unicron to travel through space and time and consume the universe, right? The Terrorcons were great. Scourge was like the main one. Really good. I liked him. He was a great villain. And yeah, I mean, the Maximals were awesome. Seeing them and then, of course, the Autobots interact was really cool. Like, just like, whoa, you know? And I like that they do play into the lore, because Beast Wars they are the future of the, like, Autobots and Decepticons. They're from the future. They could time travel. That's why it's like they also exist in the past. It gets complicated, but there was a great line when they Optimus Prime and Primal meet, and he's just like, oh, like, you know, I'm Optimus Primal, named after you, like the great Prime. So it's like, yeah, they're from the future. And it was just nice. Like, yeah, I mean, the CGI looks great as always. That's one thing I'll give Transformers movies, is that, like, being heavily reliant on CGI, they look great. Like, all of them, like the fur, everything looks like, you know, realistic. And yeah, I mean, the action, like, seriously, the last, like, I don't know if it's like half an hour, 40 minutes, is just straight like a big battle. Of course, Scourge and the Terracons get the full key. It was broken into two pieces, and essentially the movie is like, yeah, giant fetch quest. I guess if you want to criticize the plot, you could, because they're like, we have to get the two pieces. We got one. It's like, oh, we have to get the other one. Find, you know, Optimus Primal and everybody else. Then they meet, but once like that happens, and like that final fight scene is just awesome. It's like, another thing I'll praise, which might be weird or not expected, but so the Michael Bay movies had the tendency to be a very military, like fighting in the city, you know, like, so you just see a bunch of buildings and of course explosions everywhere. I appreciated that we got to see the Transformers in like broad daylight, in like lush green jungles, or like we were in Peru, and it's like that I just love, like, just seeing them in like a more nature, like natural environment was great. Yeah, like, I could appreciate that. And one main thing I gotta mention, which is a spoiler, a pretty major one, that I like, seriously, I would recommend seeing the movie first, because that reveal is like, whoa, like, at least to me. So, huge warning, seriously, see the movie before this, because it takes away from the shock value. So, at the end, of course, Scourge is defeated. I mean, hey, the good guys always win. That's movies, deal with it. Right, Unicron is trapped, essentially, but he could be back, or will be back. You know, everything is good. So Noah, of course, being a human that is working with the Autobots, the Maximals, there was a running joke with his brother that, like, because they talk over walkie-talkies, and they're like, don't use your real name, the government is watching, or like listening, the CIA. Well, at the end, Noah is essentially like interviewed or going to talk to like an agent, and the guy's like, yeah, we've been keeping up with you, we know you're working with the Autobots and that sort of thing. And the big reveal is that, you know, at first you're just like, okay, so is this Noah joining the FBI? Like, what's the importance of this? They give him a card, he flips it over, and it's the G.I. Joe. Which, like, that alone, I was like, whoa, what a reveal. Like, that's honestly, like, better than, like, any Marvel surprise. Like, seriously. Which is, like, confirming a crossover with Transformers and the G.I. Joe. Which, if you don't know, both are toy companies. Hasbro owning both. So, legally, you know, it's their properties. But, like, I'm like, oh, that is awesome. It does leave me questioning, though. So Bumblebee was like, what, a soft reboot? Like, they take place before all the Michael Bay ones, but it's like, now that you're doing a crossover like G.I. Joe, it's like, at this point, is Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast like a separate timeline? You know, because then it's like, why weren't the G.I. Joe involved in like all the later ones? Like, I don't know. Maybe they will eventually just splinter them off into their own thing. I mean, time travel exists, and of course, multiverses are popular, so you could always do that. We'll see. But yeah, pretty exciting reveal. I know that 2 sequels have been confirmed for Rise of the Beast. Of course, both of them following each other. So we could assume the next one will definitely include the G.I. Joe. So I don't know. I'm excited. But let me know, guys. Are you interested in the movie? I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Seriously, my biggest surprise of the year. I was not expecting to like it. Be like an average, like a very like 6 out of 10 movie. But no, if I had to give it a rating personally, I give it like a 9. But I guess realistically, I'd probably put it in between the 8 to 10 range. Like, you know, depending on your familiarity or how much you like it, somewhere in there. But yeah, Transformers, Rise of the Beast, it's approved. Go check it out. Yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host, Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.